The doctor slipped me a note that read, "Don't go home. Run." First, I thought I'd misheard him. Maybe it was some kind of joke, a tired doctor making small talk. But when I looked up, I saw something in his eyes that froze my breath. Fear. My name is Martha Caldwell, and I'm 70 years old. For most of my life, I've believed I was blessed. I had a loving husband, a son I adored, and a small white cottage in Charleston that smelled of lavender, salt, and old books. My husband Robert passed away 10 years ago, and since then it's just been me and my son, Benjamin. Benjamin wasn't mine by blood. We adopted him when he was 5. I still remember his little shoes, scuffed and too big for his feet. He had these hazel eyes that could melt the coldest heart. For 45 years, I raised him with everything inside me, and I thought I did well. Until that day. That morning felt ordinary, the kind of morning you never think will change your life. The sun was spilling through lace curtains, and the smell of coffee filled my kitchen. I wore my pale blue cardigan, the one Robert said matched my eyes, and took a cab to my appointment. Dr. Sterling had been my physician for 20 years. He'd seen me through the flu, grief, and birthdays. But that day, he seemed uneasy. His hands shook slightly as he checked my blood pressure. "Everything looks perfect, Martha," he said. "You're healthier than most 50-year-olds. He smiled, but his eyes darted toward the door. As I reached for my purse, he slipped something inside it, a folded note. "Take care, Mrs. Caldwell. And remember, family isn't always what it seems." I laughed nervously, thinking he was being poetic. But later, in the cab home, I couldn't stop hearing his voice. Family isn't always what it seems. When I stepped into the house, I found Benjamin, his wife Eleanor, and my granddaughter Olivia in the living room. The air felt wrong, heavy. They stopped talking the moment they saw me. Eleanor shoved some papers behind her back. "How was the doctor, Mom?" Benjamin asked, forcing a smile. "Perfectly fine. He says I'm healthy." They exchanged a glance, not relief, disappointment. That night, dinner was silent. The clink of forks and knives felt louder than ever. I tried asking about Olivia's school, but she only shrugged. Eleanor gave tight smiles. Benjamin barely met my eyes. I felt like a guest in my own home. Later, when everyone was asleep, I remembered the note. I reached for my purse with trembling hands and unfolded it. "Your family visited me yesterday. They asked me to declare you mentally unfit so they could move you to a nursing home and take control of your assets. I refused. Please don't go home. You're in danger. Dr. Sterling." The world stopped. My breath caught. My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear. My son? The boy I raised? The one I called my miracle? Tears blurred my eyes as I stumbled to the window. Downstairs, the lights were still on. I could hear their voices. "The damn doctor wouldn't cooperate," Eleanor hissed. "We'll find another one. Someone who'll sign the papers." "And until then?" Olivia asked coldly. "Then we make her life miserable," Eleanor said. "She'll beg to leave." They laughed. I stood there shaking, my heart breaking, piece by piece. That's when I realized they didn't love me. They loved what I owned. But what they didn't know was that Robert and I had been careful. After he died, I found something he never told anyone: offshore accounts, properties, and a quiet fortune he'd built over the years. $2 million. I never touched it, never told a soul. Now, that secret would save me. That night, I packed a small travel bag. Important papers, jewelry, one photo of Robert, and the key to that account. Before dawn, I slipped out the back door and took the first bus to Savannah. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't look back. The bus rattled down the highway, carrying me away from everything I'd ever known. Outside the window, morning light crept across the marshes. I pressed my hand against the glass and whispered, "I'm sorry, Robert. I'm sorry I didn't see what they'd become." In Savannah, I found a small inn run by an older couple. I used the fake name, Margaret Lewis, and paid cash. That night, I sat on the bed, staring at Robert's photo. His smile reminded me of the life I'd lost, or maybe the one I was finally reclaiming. I picked up the phone and called Dr. Sterling. He answered on the first ring. "Martha, are you safe?" "Yes," I said. "I'm in Savannah." "Good, stay there. Don't contact your family. I know someone who can help." Her name was Grace Holden, a young attorney who specialized in protecting seniors from financial exploitation. When I met her, she looked barely 30, sharp eyes, calm smile. "Mrs. Caldwell, you did the right thing," she said, "but we need evidence before we can act." Grace handed me a small phone with a recording app. "Use this to call your son. Keep him talking. Let him reveal himself." Over the next few days, I did exactly that. I called Benjamin. "Ben," I said softly, "I'm staying with a friend. I needed some rest." He sighed with fake relief. "Mom, we were worried sick. Come home, please." "I will," I said. "Soon." Each call was recorded. Each lie, each manipulation, proof. Benjamin talked about fixing the papers. Eleanor bragged about finding another doctor. Olivia complained about waiting for the money. Listening to their voices broke me, but it also made me stronger. Meanwhile, Grace worked fast. She teamed up with Dr. Sterling to transfer my power of attorney to her firm, protecting my estate. The offshore funds were moved into a trust they couldn't touch. After 2 weeks, Grace looked at me and said, "It's time." I took a deep breath and walked up the steps. My hands trembled as I turned the key. The door opened. Benjamin froze mid-step, holding a cup of coffee. His face turned pale. "Mom? You're home?" "Yes," I whispered. "Didn't expect me so soon." Eleanor appeared behind him, wearing her polite smile, the kind that never reached her eyes. "We missed you," she said sweetly. "You look tired." "I'm fine," I replied. "Just wanted to be home." Their eyes darted toward each other, silent panic between them. That evening, Eleanor cooked dinner: pot roast, mashed potatoes, all my favorites. The table was set beautifully, candles flickering, as if they thought good manners could erase what they'd done. "Olivia," I asked softly, "how's school?" She looked down. "Fine, Grandma." Her voice cracked, guilt in her eyes. We ate in silence. The clinking of silverware echoed like thunder in my ears. Halfway through dinner, Benjamin tried to smile. "Mom, maybe we should talk about your health again. We found another specialist." "Not tonight," I interrupted. "I just want to enjoy this meal." He nodded, pretending calm, but I saw the sweat on his temples. He knew something had changed. After dessert, I stood slowly. There's something I need to show you. I reached into my purse, pulled out a small black recorder, and pressed play. Eleanor's voice filled the room. The damn doctor wouldn't cooperate. Then Benjamin's. We'll find another one. Then Olivia's. How long till we get the money? Silence. The blood drained from Benjamin's face. Eleanor's fork clattered to the floor. Olivia began to cry. I trusted you, I said quietly. I gave you everything, and this is how you repay me? Mom, Benjamin started, but I raised my hand. Stop. Not a word. The hallway door opened. Grace Holden stepped inside, calm and composed. Grace Holden, attorney at law, she said firmly. Everything in this house is now evidence in an ongoing investigation of financial exploitation and elder abuse. Eleanor gasped. You can't. Oh, I can, Grace said sharply, and so can Mrs. Caldwell. 2 officers entered behind her. Benjamin stood frozen. Eleanor began to cry, not out of guilt, but fear. Please, Martha, we were desperate. You don't understand. Desperate people ask for help, I said coldly. You chose betrayal. Olivia ran to me, tears streaming down her cheeks. Grandma, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I placed a trembling hand on her shoulder. You're young, sweetheart, but you knew what they were doing. You watched. She broke down completely. I didn't know what to do. The officers read them their rights. Benjamin shouted, Mom, please, you can't do this to your own family. I stared at him, the boy I had fed, clothed, and loved, and said softly, You already did. The flashing red and blue lights outside painted the roses in strange colors, like the world itself was bleeding. Grace stood beside me. It's over, Martha. I nodded, tears spilling down my cheeks. No, I whispered. It's just beginning. 3 months later, I sat quietly in the courtroom. The trial was long, painful, and full of moments that broke my heart all over again. Benjamin's lawyer tried to paint me as confused, unstable, just like they'd planned. But Grace's evidence was airtight. Every recording, every text, every forged signature. The judge looked at me gently. Mrs. Caldwell, do you wish to make a statement? I stood, leaning on my cane. My voice trembled, but my words didn't. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here because love without respect is not love at all. I raised a boy who became a stranger, but I will not let his greed erase the life I built. The courtroom was silent. Eleanor cried quietly. Olivia hid her face. Benjamin refused to look at me. When the verdict came, I felt no joy, no anger, just peace. They were sentenced for fraud, coercion, and elder abuse. The house was legally transferred back to me. The trust remained safe. But I didn't stay in Charleston. Too many ghosts, too many memories. I sold the cottage, donated half of the money to organizations that protect seniors like me, and moved to a small coastal town in Maine. My new home sits on a cliff overlooking the ocean. The mornings smell of sea salt and pine. The waves speak softly, like Robert's voice carried by the wind. Every morning, I sit on the porch with a cup of coffee. watching the sun climb over the horizon. I think about everything I lost and everything I gained. Dr. Sterling calls once a month just to check in. Grace visits sometimes with her daughter. We laugh, we talk. They've become my real family. One evening, as I watched the sunset turn the water gold, I whispered to the wind, "I ran, Robert, and I survived." For a long time, I believed family meant blood. Now I know family means loyalty, love, and the courage to stand beside someone when the world turns cold. I am 70 years old, and for the first time in my life, I'm free.